Killowen Rum Raisin Irish Single Malt Scotch Whiskey. What's this like, and should you be trying to find one? Stay tuned for the Whiskey Whistle. Hey, my whiskey people, Mark Kaufman here for Whiskey Whistle on YouTube, sharing a little whiskey awesomeness from Winnipeg, the center of North America, bringing you a very unique Irish single malt whiskey. This is a sourced whiskey from Killowen, coming from, I believe, Cooley Distillery. They mention County Louth, which is where Cooley Distillery is. But let's get some of this port. This is 5 years old. And this one is finished in Caribbean rum casks, and PX sherry butts. And a lot of people are standing up and taking notice of this particular whiskey. And I think that the distillery, they're hoping that they can emulate or maybe even improve upon what Cooley are doing. And a 5-year single malt whiskey, not a tall order. By the way, this is cask strength at 55%, sold in 500 milliliter smaller bottles. Let's have a look at the color. What do you see there for color? Reminds me very similarly of the color of the Dingle whiskey that I just reviewed. So it's got a bright burnished coppery hue to it. I would hope that that's natural in color. No, it's non-chill filters is what it says here on the bottle. Again, no mention of color being added or not. And if that is the case, that it is natural in color, that should certainly be on the label. And I would not worry about a 5-year-old single malt whiskey being a little bit lighter at all. You let the whiskey do the talking, is what I would have to say. Yeah, no mention there at all. Okay, so that was the color. Let's have a look at the legs of the whiskey. 55%. It should be a little bit quicker than 48%, which, as I always mention, is the most viscous water and alcohol mixture. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Yeah, pretty quick first legs, but then the second legs are very, very, very slow, and they're really taking their time coming down here. So I think we can expect there to be a lot of sherry and even some of the rum content coming in to this whiskey and adding to its mouthfeel. Okay, so let's check that out together. Did I mention that? I don't think I did. Don't forget to subscribe to Whiskey Whistle. Hit the little green emblem right over here. And that way you'll be notified of future whiskey reviews here on Whiskey Whistle. If you're already enjoying my channel and all of the reviews and content, then why not support the channel? Jump in on Patreon and join the Whiskey Whistle crew. Patreon.com/Whiskey Whistle. You'll get your name in the credits at the end of each video during your tenure. You'll also get advanced viewing of future Whiskey Whistles. Last but not least, beyond a certain threshold of support, you'll earn yourself a Whiskey Whistle Glencairn glass, and eventually t-shirts will be available to the Patreon patrons. Pardon me. Hopefully that sounds great, and I look forward to seeing you there. All right, on to the nose. It's got a subtle nose, very graham cracker-esque. And then you've got this rum hint, especially the rum I'm noticing on the nose here. So sweet grain, those graham cracker crumbs. And then very lovely, very dark, Caribbean rum. I always say Caribbean. Do you say Caribbean or do you say Caribbean? I hear both, depending on where people are from. When I dig my nose in deeply, I do get hints of some red berries peeking through. especially some raspberries. And maybe even more like raspberry syrup. But the nose is a little bit tight. But given that it's 55%, it's actually very easy to nose this whiskey. Okay, let's check out the palate neat. Cheers, everyone. Very, very, very sweet first palate here. Let's try that again. Very mouth-filling. It's got a nice mouthfeel to it. Again, it's pretty intensely sweet. I've got some Manuka honey, the graham cracker, that sweet rum, some tropical fruits, and then I've got that raspberry syrup and a little bit of, true to its name, some raisin coming through here. On my third sip now, more and more raisin. Of course, there's vanilla throughout here. I think when you think of Irish whiskey, the vanilla superhero bar for the strength of vanilla is much, much higher than your typical Scotch whiskey. And I'm noticing a little bit of the strength of this now, but that's towards the end of the palate, getting to the finish. I'm getting some nice warmth. Sweet, slightly dry vanilla, little bit of astringency, like fruit skins coming through on the finish. And let's get some more water added here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so that was about 1 milliliter of water added. Okay, let's check out the nose with water. Well, that really makes a big, big difference. There's a lot more coming out of this, vaporizing with that little bit of water added. And the rum is there. The raisiny and raspberry-like fruit notes are coming through. And again, it's nosing like it's 44%, and yet it's 55, maybe with a little bit of water added, about 53 or 52. Oh, the kids are playing piano upstairs. Okay, very nice. More vanilla. Some strawberry jam coming through. Onto the palate. Cheers again. Really tones things down. A little bit of Cadbury's fruit and nut coming through. Some sweet milk chocolate with raisins, with dried raspberries, with that Caribbean rumminess to it. The finish with water, a little more astringent, not as great as when it was neat, but still very flavorful and a solid medium length. Now, for a sourced whiskey, I'm pretty happy with it. They disclosed it, which is great. And hopefully they're using this as an idea of what they can do when their stocks reach 5 years old. I haven't read up a whole lot about their distillery, and I hope that they're well on their way to that. But I think value for money, it's there. But it was not very much. It was the amount that I thought, oh yeah, well that's definitely worth trying. Its cask strength is 5 years old. It's got an interesting story, and they've disclosed the fact that it's sourced. So good job. But let's get on to the Whisky Whistle whiskey score here for Killowen Small Batch Irish Distilleries Signature Rum and Raisin Whiskey. Cask strength, 55%. Finished in Caribbean rum and PX casks. What is that going to be, folks? That's going to be 87 out of 100. You heard it, 87 out of 100 is the Whisky Whistle whiskey score for this Killowen 5-year-old single malt Irish whiskey. Very nicely done. I'll give it a little Irish hug and a little pat on the back. Look forward to seeing your own stocks when they become of age, even if that's just 3 years old. So great. Let me know your thoughts on this whiskey or any other of the Killowen whiskeys that you've tried. And if you haven't heard of this, and if you think that's interesting to you, leave me a comment, and hopefully you'll be able to find one where you are. In Canada, it should be pretty still readily available from PWS Imports, I think they're called. Some acquaintances of mine that import a lot of cool whiskeys. So you can check them out at retailers, finer retailers in Alberta. Thanks for watching. Do take care. My name is Mark Kaufman. You're watching Whisky Whistle. Bye-bye.
I never